The Alphabet murders involve the killings of 3 young girls in Rochester, New York during the early 1970s, with their cases remaining unsolved to this day, according to Carmen, aged 10, disappeared on November 11, 1971 while walking home from school. Her body discovered 2 days later in a wooded area west of the city. Wanda, aged 11, vanished on April 2, 1973. After running an errand, her remains found the following day in a rural location outside Rochester. Michelle Mayenza, aged 11, went missing on November 9, 1973, after school, and her body was located days later in another isolated spot near the city limits. Each victim shared matching first and last initials, Carmen, Wanda Wakowicz, and Michelle Menza, creating the distinctive alphabet signature noted in reports. Investigators determined each girl had been sexually assaulted and strangled with their bodies transported and left in rural areas according to autopsy findings. Local authorities conducted extensive searches and interviews, yet no arrests followed, despite thousands of tips received over the years. Detectives examined connections to other regional cases, but no definitive ties were established in the official investigations. Parents in Rochester kept children indoors during the period as fears spread through neighborhoods following each discovery. The Alphabet murders continue as active cold cases with periodic reviews by law enforcement, but no resolution has been reached. Carmen was last seen near her school, and her body was found off a highway showing signs of being moved after the crime. Wanda had been sent to the store, and her body appeared in a different county, prompting cross-jurisdiction cooperation. Michelle was seen leaving school grounds, and her case prompted renewed public appeals for information from authorities. Local newspapers began referring to the pattern after the third incident, highlighting similarities in victim selection and disposal methods. Rochester police created a special unit to handle the growing number of leads and coordinate with state investigators. Composite drawings based on witness statements circulated widely, yet failed to produce an arrest in any of the cases. Hundreds of calls came from concerned residents, but none led to conclusive evidence matching the crime scenes. Analysts mapped the dump sites to identify possible offender travel patterns within the Rochester area. Relatives of the victims have continued to seek answers through public statements and cooperation with cold case units. Periodic case file examinations by modern forensics teams have not yielded new leads sufficient for charges. Other child homicides in the region were checked for overlap, but investigators found no confirmed connections. Recent technological improvements allow re-examination of preserved evidence from the original investigations. Court documents and police reports remain available for study, though they contain no solved outcome. The events prompted lasting changes in local safety practices for children walking alone in the city. Techniques used in the Alphabet murders cases influenced later protocols for handling serial child abductions. Television programs have revisited the Alphabet murders, presenting archival footage and expert commentary. Authors have examined the Alphabet murders in true crime volumes, drawing from public records and interviews. Despite extensive efforts, no individual has been formally accused in connection with the 3 murders. The Alphabet murders remain listed among unsolved homicides, with dedicated detectives assigned to periodic review. Annual remembrances honor Carmen, Wanda, and Michelle, keeping their stories present in community memory. Law enforcement agencies indicate continued commitment to applying new science to the Alphabet murders files. After the third killing, reporters noted the repeated initial letters prompting the Alphabet murders label in headlines. All 3 victims lived within a small section of Rochester, allowing police to concentrate door-to-door canvasses. Numerous residents provided statements describing vehicles or individuals seen near the abduction times. Physical items from each scene were cataloged and stored for potential future laboratory analysis. Behavioral experts created an offender description based on crime scene similarities across the 3 incidents. Television and radio broadcasts urged anyone with information to contact Rochester police immediately. Detectives spoke with hundreds of residents living near each victim to identify any common connections. Witness reports mentioned different car models, leading investigators to consider multiple possible suspects. Attendance logs and classmate statements helped establish timelines for each disappearance. Investigators reviewed the personal histories of the victims looking for any shared acquaintances or locations. Extensive cross-referencing of known offenders in the area produced no matches to the crime details. Soil and vegetation samples from the discovery locations were collected to determine time of body placement. Schools and community groups launched programs teaching children about stranger danger following the incidents. Modern efforts have transferred original paper records into digital databases for easier access by analysts. Outside criminologists have been invited to review the Alphabet murders for fresh perspectives. Old broadcast tapes and newspaper morgues provide additional context on contemporary public reaction. All three girls were between 10 and 11 years old at the time of their deaths, according to records. Each body was left in a distinct rural location, suggesting the offender had knowledge of the surrounding countryside. Authorities confirmed the absence of any financial motive or contact from the perpetrator after the abductions. The three murders occurred over a span of 2 years, with gaps of roughly 18 months between incidents. Neighborhood watch programs expanded in Rochester as residents sought to prevent further tragedies. By the late 1970s, active leads had diminished, leaving the Alphabet murders in cold case status. The Alphabet murders are studied in training programs as an example of serial child homicide investigation. Online forums and podcasts continue to discuss the Alphabet murders, drawing new attention to the unsolved cases. Advances in DNA technology have prompted fresh examination of items collected from the original scenes. To date, no person has been charged with any of the Alphabet murders, despite decades of investigation. Rochester police maintain active files on the Alphabet murders and encourage new information from the public. Ongoing analysis of the Alphabet murders ensures that any new forensic breakthrough can be applied promptly. If this report on the Alphabet murders provided useful information, please like the video, subscribe for more true crime updates, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. The Alphabet murders stand as a significant unsolved chapter in Rochester criminal history, with 3 young lives lost. All details derived from publicly available police reports and contemporary news coverage of the Alphabet murders. This presentation of the Alphabet murders contains sensitive content and is intended for mature audiences only. Any developments in the Alphabet murders will be reported as law enforcement continues its work on the cases. Local organizations have offered resources to families affected by the Alphabet murders over the years. The Alphabet murders occurred during a period of heightened concern over child safety across the United States. Traditional detective work combined with emerging forensic techniques shaped the Alphabet Murders probe. Authorities continue to ask anyone with knowledge of the Alphabet Murders to come forward with information. Original evidence from the Alphabet Murders is maintained under secure conditions for potential future testing. Press coverage played a key part in keeping the Alphabet Murders in the public eye during the investigation. Quiet vigils mark anniversaries of the Alphabet Murders to honor the lives of the three girls. Changes in cold case legislation may affect how the Alphabet Murders are handled going forward. The Alphabet Murders serve as a case study in criminology courses on unsolved serial offenses. The Alphabet Murders underscore the challenges faced by investigators in complex historical homicide cases. Your attention to the Alphabet Murders helps keep these important cases in public awareness. Follow this channel for additional reports on true crime stories, including developments in the Alphabet Murders. Share respectful observations about the Alphabet Murders in the section below to join the discussion. Explore other reports on unsolved cases connected to the themes of the Alphabet Murders here. Your engagement helps sustain coverage of important stories like the Alphabet Murders. Reliable updates on the Alphabet Murders and similar matters will continue to be provided. This concludes the factual overview of the Alphabet Murders based on available public information. The focus remains on factual reporting of the Alphabet Murders to honor those affected. All statements about the Alphabet Murders are drawn from verified public sources only. Thank you for viewing this report on the Alphabet Murders and supporting factual content. Subscribers help expand coverage of stories like the Alphabet Murders for more viewers. Upcoming videos will cover additional aspects related to the Alphabet Murders investigation. Comments on the Alphabet Murders should remain respectful and fact-based at all times. The Alphabet Murders continue to be monitored for any new verified developments. Gratitude goes to all who have contributed to awareness of the alphabet murders. This video serves as an informational summary of the alphabet murders only. Additional resources on the alphabet murders appear in the description below. Thank you for watching the full report on the alphabet murders. Please like, subscribe, and comment on this alphabet murders presentation. This is the conclusion of the news-style overview of the alphabet murders. Your support keeps factual reporting on the alphabet murders possible. Until next time, stay informed about cases like the alphabet murders. Signing off from this detailed look at the alphabet murders. End of presentation on the alphabet murders from public records. The alphabet murders report is now complete. Like and subscribe for more on the alphabet murders.